All right, welcome back. In the second session, we're going to talk about the same aspect of information cleaning or scrubbing, in which you can have different attributes which are missing, you can have records which are missing, you can have duplicate records, you can also have missing keys or other required data like indexes. There can be erroneous relationship of references. I think as we've gone through doing a bunch of exercises through databases, you can see that if you have a relationship which is not connected in the right way, that can be a problem. You can also have inaccurate data when you've put in data which isn't representative of the actual data that you're putting in. So information cleaning essentially allows an organization to fix these type of inconsistencies and cleans the data in the data warehouse. So the cost of accurate and complete information. So what do you think is the most accurate information that an organization can get? Obviously, you can get 0%. The data is not correct at all. On the other end, you can get 100% accurate information of data. So you talk about 100% completeness, you can talk about 100% accuracy. You probably would want to be on the top end of the quadrant that you're looking at here, but that would be a huge amount of cost to get there. So if you had to choose a percentage of acceptable information, what would that be? Would you say it's 20% of accurate information? Would you say 50%? Would you say achieving perfect information is almost impossible? I would say achieving perfect information is almost impossible. So the more complete and accurate an organization wants to get its information, the more it costs. The trade-off between perfect information lies in accuracy versus completeness. You can have complete data, but then it may not be accurate at all. Uh, Most organizations determine a percentage high enough to make a good decision at a reasonable cost, such as 85% accurate and 65% complete. And that's usually a pretty good metric for an organization saying that our data is 85% accurate and 65% complete. The rest of the holes you may have to fill in with the business intelligence module, which fills pieces of unknown information. Anyway, so you can uncover trends and patterns with data mining. I think data mining can begin at a summary information level. You can have coarse granularity. I think we talked about that. And then you can progress through increasing levels of detail. You're essentially drilling down or drilling up. Um, so you can have data mining tools which help with finding the right information in all the data mines that you have. So it can find patterns, it can find relationships, it can find rules, it can predict future behavior and guide decision making. If you remember in one of the classes, and I think I've also posted a video on the Connect website, in which you can see how Target can infer from your the customer's buying habits on when somebody is pregnant and can determine to a really close enough date saying what day they're going to have the baby. And that can be a huge factor for Target because now they can know when they can send you targeted marketing campaigns. So they know that when you're getting ready to deliver a baby or a customer is getting ready to deliver a baby, um, they can send you more specific targeted information. So data mining is the process of analyzing data to extract information not offered by the raw data alone. Data mining tools can use a variety of techniques to find patterns. I think you can have classification of data, you can have estimation of data, you can have affinity grouping. People who shop alike could be baby boomers, could be Generation Y, could be Generation X. What's the grouping? It could be teenagers, could be people above 65, and so on, or people living in a specific geographic region. You can have clustering. Clustering means people who tend to be close together, they buy decisions by the characteristics of their relationships with each other. So you could have a couple of friends that all hang out on the same website, or they hang out on Facebook as a group, and then now what's their group buying behavior they're clustering. So the tools can uncover that as well. So the data mining tools include query tools, you can have reporting tools, we talked about multidimensional analysis tools, you can have statistical tools, you can have intelligent agents. So uh, what would you think is would be an example of what an accountant might discover when they use data mining tools? So uh, just think about that for a moment. Not a question, but more of a thinking question. So an accountant, if they had data mining tools, they probably could drill down to all the expenses, the revenue, what is being coming in as revenue inside the business, and then you can look at the expense and say, well, we could look at which employees are spending the most, or which divisions are spending the most money, which divisions are bringing in the most money, and now they can go back and say, well, which are the most profitable products, and so on. So those are some approaches to data mining. Um, okay, so moving on, there's a website out there called askninja.com, and if you need some insight into just about anything, you can visit this website, and it'll tell you what that insight is and how it helps uh, with something that is really helpful to the business as well. So let me just give you a short demo. So I'm going to pause this video and come back in a moment here. So here's the website. I think when I started recording the last time, I had a smaller window, so you may not see the whole thing, but I'll try to show you the whole thing as much as possible. As you can see that askninja.com, you can come down here, and now they will talk about many different issues and how that is working. So you can have the Internetisburg address. You can have Jeremy Ling is a Ninja Speed, and now essentially what they're doing is they are answering questions on whatever you want. So you submit your question and they will hope to answer it. So that's what askaninja.com is, and you'll be surprised on the kind of answers they give. So give it a try, and maybe we can talk about it in class next time. Okay, let me just switch back to my PowerPoint in a moment. So hopefully you've been to the website askninja.com. So this website is very successful. Now, why would you assume that just because someone is dressed as a ninja and knowledgeable about all subjects, would people trust them still? Um, and think about it from your perspective, and maybe you browse the site again, or if you haven't, go and browse for it for a moment and come back. And the data analysis they're doing, is it coming from a credible source? Can you prove that that the data they're using to make the analysis, is it complete or accurate? Think about it, and maybe we can have a discussion going next time when you come to class. So moving on, we talk about structured data that is already in a database or a spreadsheet, and we have unstructured that data that isn't in a specific format that cannot be extracted easily. Even though some people can say that they can transfer PDF documents um, to a structured database, that can be done, but it's really difficult. Messages is again a difficult one, even though Google is developing technology so that voice can be transcribed back into words. The technology is still not mature enough that it can lead to some good information. But anyway, so that's examples of unstructured data. And what text mining does, it analyzes unstructured data to find trends and patterns in important sentences. So you can have a crawler bot. Essentially, it's an automated program that crawls the internet looking for documents, looking for voice messages, looking for emails, and then it's trying to construct a pattern around that. And usually, many websites would do that is they're data mining bots. So, for example, we talked about the Obama and the Romney campaign, and how they use information to collect information about voters. And that essentially is a data mining tool. You can do web mining, which is just what I talked about, is analyze structured data associated with websites to identify key consumer behavior. Common forms of data mining analysis capabilities include um, you can do cluster analysis. Cluster analysis is a technique used to divide information set into mutually exclusive groups, so such that the members of each group are as close together as possible. Let me show you an example of that in a moment here. You can have association detection. It reveals to the degree to which variables are related to the nature and frequency of these relationships in the information. And the final one is a statistical analysis, which performs such functions as information correlations, could have a statistical distribution like a normal distribution. You can have association detection. And so that essentially is a statistical analysis. So here's what a cluster analysis looks like. A technique used to divide information, for example, excuse me, by consumer goods by content. You can have brand loyalty or similarity. You can have product market topology. You can have corporate decision strategies and different things that lead to industry processes. You can have a design assembly process. So you can cluster the information by different categories, and you can see in the figure that is showing up is you have customers that are being grouped by certain characteristics. We don't know what that characteristic is, but they're being grouped. You can have association detection. For example, Maytag uses association detection to ensure that each generation of appliances is better than the previous generation. So Maytag's warranty analysis tool automatically detects potential issues. It provides quick and easy access to reports and performs multidimensional analysis. You can also do a market basket analysis, which you can items such as websites, you can do checkout scanner information to detect consumer buying behavior, and you can also predict your future buying behavior of customers just based on that market basket analysis. And I think many companies do this is they'll analyze what you have in your checkout cart. And I think a few of you gave me an example a couple of weeks ago that if you put something on Amazon on your in your shopping cart, Amazon will sell you coupons to buy the same product. So that's an example of association detection. You can do statistical analysis. Kraft uses statistical analysis to assure consistent flavor, color, aroma, texture, and appearance for all lines of its foods. They want to provide as cohesive a picture to the customers as possible. So they'll evaluate, Kraft will essentially evaluate every manufacturing procedure from recipes, instructions to cookie dough shapes to sizes to ensure that the billions of Kraft products that are sold and that reach the customers, they taste great and they taste same year after year and with every bite. So that's an example of a statistical analysis and essentially making sure that the product doesn't vary after a couple of iterations or a couple of manufacturing iterations. Statistical analysis can do forecasting. It can do that based on the time series information. Time series information is information collected at a particular frequency. So, just as a quick recap here, uh, what are the three different kinds of analysis that can be done to identify data mining tools or future behavior for a customer? So that's question of the day number two. If you would answer that, mention the three different tools that are available to evaluate future purchase decisions by customers. I'm just signing off for a moment and I'll be back in a moment. Thank you.